Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Pennsylvania High School Football Report podcast. I'm Brian Linder, here with Dan Sosik. Dan, how you doing?
I'm doing quite well.
Got Eric Epler here. Yep. How you doing?
Doing very well. Thank you for asking.
Our producer, Megan's here, too.
Howdy, y'all.
Guys, now you know what they all sound like. Megan, you had a week walking around with Ricky Waters.
We sure did. Very, very nice person.
Tell us how that went. Obviously, for people who don't know, you younger folks, shame on you for not knowing, because Ricky probably should be in the Hall of Fame. Yep, I think. He's got a good argument for it.
I think so.
Heck of a running back at Bishop McDevitt, heck of a running back at Notre Dame, and a great pro running back with the 49ers, Eagles, and Seahawks. Won a Super Bowl, was really darn good in that Super Bowl against the Chargers. But Megan hung out with him some last week. We had a really good story from John Lucy, and I know Megan, I think, did some filming and stuff. So, Megan, tell us about how all that went and your experience. And I think you guys even got kicked out of the old McDevitt app. I think they gave him the boot.
Yep, they gave us the boot. That's why I'm actually on here. I figured readers would want to hear about Ricky Waters getting kicked off his old high school football field. He didn't actually make it. So the situation at McDevitt is it's no longer owned by McDevitt. The exact status is up in the air. It was up for sheriff's sale. And while we were out there at McDevitt, the article came out from Suk Leiter that has been postponed. They wanted to turn it into some sort of like mixed use area, like a farmer's market, and people live there, things like that. So we gathered out in front of McDevitt. It was basically John's story was to go around with Ricky to his old childhood hunts and tell stories of how he became Ricky Waters. So we were outside of McDevitt. It was me, John Lucy, Sean Summers, the photographer, Ricky's sister, some friends from his childhood, and also one of his former McDevitt players, Sean Borowski. We also had a couple of McDevitt officials out there, including their head of alumni associations, and I don't remember who the other person was. We had Waters' PR person out there. So the original goal was to get photos of him on the steps, but we decided to see if we could access the football field. Sean and I walked back, and Sean is ahead of me, and this guy starts screaming through the gate at Sean. Sean is Sean. He just kept going. He's trying to explain who we were, why we were there, that Ricky Waters was with us. So I think in the end, the whole crux of the matter is none of them believed that Ricky Waters was with us. He kept threatening to call the police, so Sean and I turned around and started to go back, and we ran into the rest of the crowd. Ricky and his friends were like, well, of course they're going to let us on the field. He's Ricky Waters. All of us went back up to the gate where the security guard still is not wanting to let us in. And Ricky's friends start lamenting that, oh, too bad the gate's not open. And I looked at the gate and I saw the chain dangling. And I said, gate's open. And one of Ricky's friends saw what I was looking at, came up, lifted the chain out of the gate and opened the gate. So then most of that crowd came in. Not any of us with the PennLive crowd because we were being cautious. But Ricky's friends went in, and so did Sean Borowski. And Sean went to the security guard, tried to talk to him to see if they would let us on the field. And again, we just don't think the security guard believed that we had Ricky Waters with us. And even though we had McDevitt officials there and stuff like that, we just decided to leave. And so on our way out, we turned around and left. And one of Ricky's friends looked at Ricky and said, welcome home, Ricky. And so we went over to his old neighborhood over on, it was Emerald and Jefferson, and to the big parking lot where he honed a lot of his football skills and listened to a lot of really great stories. We've got that video up on YouTube, and we'll link to it from the YouTube version of this episode. But it was great. Ricky was great. His friends were great. His sister was great. Overall, it was a really nice but interesting experience. But I got to text my boss, and then I texted Brian going, well, Ricky Waters just got thrown out of Old McDevitt.
Yeah, I think Ricky Waters should be allowed to do pretty much whatever he wants. And anything that has the name Bishop McDevitt on it, Ricky Waters should probably just be allowed to, just walk in. If there's a vending machine, he should probably just be given a separate code that can give him a free, thing of peanut M&Ms or whatever. What is someone to tell Ricky Waters to do at that high school? And it's that I get it. There's rules to living in a society, everything. But I feel like if you're a 10,000 yard rusher who went to high school, you kind of should be allowed to do what you want.
I honestly think the security guard didn't think it was Ricky Waters.
I to be honest, I don't know if I would necessarily recognize retired Ricky Waters without a football jersey on, but I have a special
You,
brand of face blindness.
you'd recognize him because he looks exactly the same.
That is true. He does look exactly this. He has not aged very. He's whatever he's on his diet plan, fitness plan seems like something we all should follow.
Well, he did at least get to sort of see the field through the gate, but we did go back and take photos from the front steps at McDevitt, and that was fine.
Interesting story, Epler. You McDevitt guys are no longer welcome over at McDevitt, dude.
It should have called me. I guarantee. It should call me or Shady. One of the two. We got you.
Trying to say Ricky doesn't have the cred to get in anymore?
No, but I'm saying Shady is a little bit more. How should I put? Not more recent. You know what I mean? So I think people would. I think he might have recognized Shady more so than
Yeah.
recognized Ricky. Is
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, Shady is kind of plugged in around the city, I think.
Right, and it just and
So,
his career was a little younger than Ricky's was.
yeah.
But yeah, I'd have made a call and you'd have been on. Just
We
Yeah.
tried to. We tried to even get the number of the current owner, and the security guard wouldn't give it to us.
interesting.
Yeah.
There you go. I got Ricky Waters in the boat. We had a big week with Micah Parsons we talked about. Dan went to Chicago. Real quick, Dan, what you didn't go to Lou Malnati's, did you?
I did.
Oh, you did? How was it?
It was absolutely like. And I was not expecting to be a deep dish pizza guy, and I don't think I could eat it more than like once every 5 years or something.
Right.
Because it is so much, but man, it was so good. And the thing that like when I got to Chicago and was looking up the deep dish things, I was just like, how do you even? Yeah, I feel like you just kind of have to pick one and go there every time because everyone gives you a different answer on which place you
Yeah.
have to go. It's kind of similar to the cheesesteak thing where I imagine Lou Malnati's is kind of like the Pats or whatever, and they're probably better, smaller ones. But we had hour and a half wait. We put our name down, walked along the river walk down there. It was after a Red Sox lost to the Cubs, where I had to sit and watch the Cubs fans sing "Go Cubs Go."
No,
But I,
no,
I mean, it was a wonderful. It was so nice out.
no. What do
Yeah.
you
The
say?
second day, it rained a little bit. Got to see the bean. Then it rained. Then we went to the art museum. Then it got nice. Then I got my highlight meal was not the pizza though. It was the Italian beef sandwich from Al's.
No.
I didn't go to. We visited the place from the TV show The Bear, which was line all the way around the block. But people I know in Chicago told me that's not the best place. It's just the place they filmed the TV show. Then that the best place is Al's, and it was maybe the best sandwich I've ever had in my life. It was so unbelievably good. It was just like spicy and like they put the exact right amount of gravy. I took a picture of it. It is. I want another Italian beef sandwich from Al's, but I also don't want to get like a imposter sandwich. And then I went to Madison to visit my brother on Sunday, and that was a lot of fun too. A lot of um, fun college town to be in when it's not freezing out there. So good Midwestern jaunt for the Sostek kids.
Yeah, I figured Lou Malnati's might be pretty good because, like I said, I not that I'm the biggest Portnoy fan in the world, but I do watch his little pizza reviews sometimes. His one bite challenge, and he's more that New Haven uh, type guy. The thin crust cheese, uh, well cooked, and he gave Malnati's like eight something, and
Yeah.
that's not really his cup of tea for pizza. He usually doesn't.
They
score pizzas
cut
like
it
that
up
pretty
right in
high.
front of you too. Yeah, it's so good. It's just so rich. It really is just like you're eating a like they really put it's an actual pie. Like it's Like it's just so thick. But yeah, we had a couple slices left over for breakfast the next day too. So
Oh yeah.
Well, good. I'm glad you went to Chicago. Uh, glad you didn't wander off into any of the rough parts. I had a friend who was a cop there, and you wander off into the rough
it's
parts,
so
you might
big.
not made it back.
Yeah, it's so big. I mean, obviously, it's the third biggest city I think in the U.S.,
Yeah.
but it's still one of those you don't really like in your head. You don't think of it being as big if you're not from there, but it's massive. We were in the city and we're like a 30-minute Uber ride outside of downtown. So
Yeah, I was up watching TV the other night, Epler, watching Jelly Roll host Jimmy Kimmel, and saw Dan post the photos. I texted him. I said, "Hey, Jelly Roll's hosting Jimmy Kimmel." He said, "Don't ever text me about Jelly Roll ever again." So, as Dan knows, that ensures that I will text him now every time I see Jelly Roll do
and
Yeah.
there's been
anything.
2 more since.
Right.
He hates him. He hates him.
Correct.
I don't hate him. I just don't want any news about him. I
Dan
don't.
hates him.
I don't like him. I absolutely do not like that
Dan
man.
wants him. Dan wants him to get hurt in this
I don't. Yeah, I
wrestling.
don't.
All right,
He's wrestling.
let's not go
He's
into
wrestling at
legally.
SummerSlam.
Yeah, maybe in the SummerSlam. Nothing legally actionable.
Yeah. Well, look, Jelly Roll's a big guy, and guess what? We got a big guy as our guest this week. We got the Big Oak, and for you Pennsylvania high school football fans, that's Cumberland Valley offensive lineman Tyler Merrill, who's a Notre Dame commit. So a lot of Notre Dame fans in the Keystone State too. Guys, let's go ahead and get into our interview with Tyler.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a big guest on today, both in stature and in literal size. We've got one of the biggest prospects in the state of PA. Probably, Ep has been saying there haven't been players like this in the Mid Penn a long time. We've got Cumberland Valley offensive lineman and Notre Dame commit Tyler Merrill joining us on the PA High School Football Report. Tyler, how's it going?
It's going great. Excited to be here.
Yeah, Tyler, it's been fun. I kind of started around. That was my second year when you were coming up as a freshman. I remember Mike Craig kind of telling us, we've got this freshman offensive tackle. It's gonna be pretty good. And we talked to Coach Oswald about you back then. He said that you were going to be a guy that Nick Saban would be coming around looking at. Unfortunately, Nick Saban retired before you could get recruited, but the idea was spot on. I was going back to the first article I wrote about you, and that was back when you had 120 followers. Now you're a Notre Dame commit, and you're a senior. Have you kind of taken a chance yet to step back and kind of look at how crazy your high school career has been, starting from sort of, that sort of mystery box type of prospect to where you are now?
Yeah. I mean, starting out, like you kind of said, it was kind of from nothing to something, like you said, mystery box. I didn't really know what I was going to get out of playing football at all, really. I was really a kid that was like, oh, well, I want to do this and this. I always loved the game of football. I didn't really look forward too far ahead until my freshman year, when, like you said, kind of things started to ramp up, articles written about me. Like, those are some things that they kind of like changed my experience with football, and kind of made me realize, like, hey, there's some a little bit bigger to this than just playing the game. Like there's opportunity here. So like, looking back at it now, it's crazy, and it's crazy even now looking at some of the other kids' journeys, is like how different mine was, just being recruited like straight into high school, like first year, and then just whole entire fiasco until now. Like it is a very crazy thought that going from playing little league football to now being on the national title game contender team every year. You know what I mean? So like stuff like that, it's crazy to think about, but I'm super fortunate and blessed to be here.
Hey, thanks for joining us and giving us a few minutes of your time. I wanted to ask you too, just to kind of expand on that. What is the attraction for you? I mean, obviously, there's a lot of guys who are good at football that maybe don't go on to play in college. They play in high school, or they pick another sport or something like that. What a parts of the game sort of are attractive to you? What do you love about the game?
I think Coach Oswald made it very clear for me my freshman year that football is the only sport where violence is legal. So I think that's the best way that I could describe it too, is like, the feeling of just running through someone, it's second to none. And I know when everything's all said and done, that's the first thing I'm gonna miss, is just running through someone. But yeah, I think the team, the brotherhood too, like it's completely different. Like I'll see other teams and sports, hanging out and being together, but it's just not the same. I'm closer with my football guys more than anyone else, and I feel like that's the gateway to becoming a man, is building great bonds with other men. I think that's definitely something important, and I'll be friends with these guys for the rest of my life. So I mean, just that, and yeah, I mean, it's been nothing but positive playing football for me. So I mean, it's never been like a thing where it's like, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that. Like it's always pushed me and kind of been a factor that kept my motor keep going. So
Tyler, a fun fact I think we haven't really talked about too much with you, but I believe it's true, and I see it in your bio too. Is were you born in Germany? Is that correct?
yeah. So I was
Yeah.
born
So
there.
can you kind of take us through, your German roots a little bit? I mean, that's a country that football is definitely expanding to. You see
Yeah.
every year now the NFL does the game in Germany. They're trying to obviously grow the game a little bit. It seems like you have some pride in kind of being born there with that flag in your bio a little
Of
bit.
course, yeah, yeah. I wish I was a little bit more prideful, but that's not me. But yeah, I was born in Germany in 2007. My parents were pretty young; they were like 24, 25. But yeah, I grew up for the first like 6 years of my life. I grew up just speaking German, and so my dad worked. He worked on the base in Germany where we lived. And he did like logistics and whatnot. And my mom took care of me. And I just grew up speaking German. My dad would speak to me in English, and I understood him, but I always responded in German. So after I think kindergarten in Germany, my dad got a better job in the States. And since that's where he's from, he wanted to move back. And so we had the opportunity to go back, and there was better opportunity there for a job as well. So we moved back, and I think it was 2011 or 2012. And so when we moved back, so my sister was born by then too in Germany, but she was a little bit too young to like fully speak and do all that. But we're both fluent in German, me and my sister. So we moved back, and when we moved there, I had to I had all the basics down in English. It was just kind of speaking it out, and finding good confidence to talk to other people and other kids and make friends and whatnot. But it all came easy because my dad always spoke English to me, so I always understood him. It was just always a response in German. So I moved
Yeah,
here.
I wonder if you're going to get I'm a Patriots fan. They used to have a right tackle, Sebastian Vollmer from Germany. So maybe
Yeah,
you two gotta
yeah,
hook up.
yeah. That'd be awesome. But yeah,
Yeah.
so we moved back to PA, and I did I did another kindergarten here. So I'm a little bit older for my age, or for my class a little bit. So I did kindergarten again here just to get integrated with speaking English and whatnot, and then first grade a little bit. And then we moved back again because my dad got a new opportunity in Germany. So I actually went back. And so we stayed again, like we rented out a house, and I went to school on base. So I flipped from like being an all German kid to an all English kid. And so I went to school like any American kid. It was just in Germany, and I spoke English with teachers and made friends, and they all spoke English. So that wasn't really that much different. And then I moved back here in 2018, and that's when I started playing like midget football, Pop Warner football, whatever people call it. And that's kind of that stint kind of started my last year in Germany and my first year here in 2018, and I've been here ever since.
Did you ever get the itch to just say, "Coach, put me in the backfield. I want to run the rock"?
Oh my gosh, you don't understand. You can ask Coach Oz about it. I mean, I've toned down on it, but my sophomore, junior year, I'm like, coach, just give me the ball. It's 3rd and 1. I mean, come on. Like, it's, I mean,
Listen, it has happened because we talked a lot about Micah Parsons, obviously, who was back in the mid state last week for his camp to have his jersey. Harrisburg retired, and we were talking about being on the sidelines and listening to him chirp during his junior and senior year to Calvin Everett, the head coach at
yeah,
Harrisburg, about putting him in. Just come on, coach. Let me play D back. Come on, coach. Let me kick this extra point. Like
yeah.
he wanted to do everything. So I was trying to think maybe as a lineman, you feel a little stuffed there at the line of scrimmage and maybe you want to break out a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. There could be a chance this year. So there might be might be a little magic happening on that right side of the
A
field.
little package.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
a little.
Well, I don't know
Nice.
about little package, but
Yeah, yeah. It's like Jelani Stafford from on UConn.
yeah.
So Ty, how's your summer been? I mean, is it obviously being committed and getting that sort of chaos in check a little bit? How's your summer been? What you been doing and drill work, lit weights? I'm assuming, but beyond that, how's it been?
Yeah, I mean, my summers kind of started off a little bumpy with just a lot of traveling. I went to my OV obviously in June, which was awesome. It was great talking to a lot of new faces and a lot of guys that I recognized from just looking at camp and TV and whatnot. And I thought it was awesome to really get to know those guys and kind of already integrate myself with the team. I thought that was really cool on my OV. Um, and then the week after that, I went to Indianapolis for the 5-star camp, which was also a pretty good experience. But yeah, there is definitely levels to talent, I will say, that I've noticed going to a rival's 5-star camp versus the local Under Armour camp. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was a great experience, and there's a few guys there that are already committed, like Joey and JV and Osborne and all those guys. And so I just got to hang out with those guys for 3 days and get some cool gear and work hard. And that was cool. And I think I came back from Indianapolis and we went straight to team camp in the Pine Richland. So we practiced with Pine Richland for 2 days while their players' families hosted us. But yeah, that was a great opportunity too. I got to talk to John Curran a little bit. He was a Pitt commit. I stayed at his house for the evening there, and we got to work together, work against each other a little bit. But yeah, that was really cool. And then right after that, I went straight to vacation and went to Outer Banks for a week. So my whole month of June was very busy. But yeah, I got a lot out of it, and I'm glad I'm staying busy because I think I'd regret it looking back on it and say my senior year summer wasn't the best, and I didn't do much. I didn't want to say that. So I got to do that, and then July is kind of where we ramp up. We do conditioning every Tuesday and Thursday. So we ramped up that, and we just kept my head down, started grinding. I'm trying to get the record right now for my school for bench and squat and clean. I'm tied with clean right now for 315. I'm trying to get to 405 on bench. I'm at 390 and a squat. I'm 50 pounds off.
That's what I'm doing too. I think so. I think you'll get there.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. And so also there's the weight room stuff. There's the, discipline stuff and, the mentality you kind of have to have when you're running out on a track at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, there's all that. But also the thing that I've noticed that kind of adds a little bit more to my plate, but it's not too stressful, is just kind of like taking care of the younger guys too. Like, some of these guys are going to be the future and you got to invest a little bit of time in those guys too. Like, just recently on Tuesday, I was coaching up a few guys, just things that I see that they might not see and which might help them. You know what I mean? And so I try to integrate that more too when we practice, is like giving some of the younger guys some more tips and some more tricks and seeing what works and what doesn't. Because if I was in their position as as a guy that's going to have to either fill a role next year or is looking to fill a role this year or fight for a spot, like I think those tips would only help me. You know what I mean? And so I feel like doing the same thing for someone else, I feel like that's kind of the role that I need to play, especially being a leader on the team. So I've been working on that, and yeah, I mean, just making the most out of my last full summer to as a high schooler, I think is important. Hanging out with friends, fishing, going out. Obviously not going too crazy. There's things that happen to some kids that aren't the best,
Yeah.
but that's what my summer's been consistent of, and I'm excited.
You mentioned Joey O'Brien. I think the last time we talked, he hadn't committed yet, but you were, kind of saying hopefully we get some good news on that. Notre Dame's no stranger to getting top kids from PA, but obviously they have you, they have Joey now, they got Grayson. Just how excited are you with kind of not just the recruiting talent in general, which Notre Dame's always going to get, but specifically to be bringing in Keystone State guys like yourself and obviously, we've seen Joey play a little bit. That kid's a pretty special player as well.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Joey's a special guy on the field, and he's a very talented player. But I think he's an even better guy to just talk to and be friends with. I think
Right.
that's what kind of pulled him to Notre Dame too. Like he said, I think one of the interviews I saw, it was like, I almost went to Oregon, and Clemson was really cool too. And I was thinking the same way, but at the same time, I'm like, what's really gonna benefit me in the long term? You know what I mean? I'm not saying none of those schools will benefit you in the long term, but what's really gonna take care of you at your lowest? And so when I think about that, the only thing that I thought about was the people that have been recruiting me since my freshman year. And I think Joey kind of realized the same thing, like these guys, like you said on the OV, like these guys are the guys that are gonna fight for you and go to war for you. And I think that's just really cool. And I think Joey's that type of guy too. I think that's why he fit in so well with all those people there. Like I can't say enough good things about Joey. And he'll probably make fun of me if he does hear about this interview. But yeah, I mean, it's just a great guy. Same thing with Grayson. I mean, all the guys in that O line room, we just clicked instantly. Like it was crazy almost how quickly we just became friends and get to know each other. So I mean, I can't say nothing but good things about both of those two. I'm excited for the future too, of just what kind of things that we'll be doing here, and what we can bring out of PA perhaps maybe in the future as well.
Tyler, how many? It's been a pretty good week for Notre Dame too, right? The last couple of weeks, haven't they signed a couple? Obviously not linemen, but skill positions.
Oh yeah.
I think Devin Fitzpatrick, obviously, I think was just a Notre Dame commit.
Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald, I'm sorry, and wasn't there a Texas 4-star wideout
Yeah.
too?
Kate
Finley.
on Finley. Yep.
Have you had any interaction with these guys, or just kind of?
Oh yeah. That's the thing too there. Like the culture brings everyone together. That's what I love about it. I'm friends with all these guys. I was texting Devin before he committed. Me and Kadon, we were working groups on the OV. Like it's just like, it's more than just position or like a position group that you're friends with. Like you're friends with everyone there. You're boys with everyone there. So it's like, it just made it's different. Like it's just different. I can't explain it more than that. Like all those guys are just, they all like click together, including me. I mean, like, and what's his name, Nick Reddish, those guys, Jonas Walton, Javian Osborne, like all those guys, man, they all got some, and it's so hard to explain, but they all have the kind of same knack of like brotherhood. So I think it's just really awesome that's an opportunity for me to be part of. And I think that's just shows like there's it's going to be a great class coming into this 2026 year.
Nice.
And Tyler, before we let you go, got to talk a little bit about Cumberland Valley football too.
Yeah.
I've kind of been talking on this pod, about how I kind of think, everyone kind of looks at this Commonwealth division, right? And rightfully so, with how far they went last year with Harrisburg and Bishop McDevitt. Those are two of the team. Those both in the Final Fours. Obviously, Bishop McDevitt made a title game. But I mean, I think your team showed a lot of promise towards the end of last year. You got Colin Stamey playing really well at the end. Now you have Zayden Smith, who is obviously now an Ohio State, Penn State offer sheet. That's pretty darn good. Guys like Elijah Sherman, Brody Pines, obviously, he's done pretty much. He's a Swiss Army knife for you guys.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a chance. I mean, you guys beat Harrisburg last year.
Yeah.
Do you feel like what's kind of the mindset in that Cumberland Valley room? Is it, everyone's kind of focusing on these other big teams? Is it we're just going to take care of our business? Is there a chip on your shoulder with you guys, or do you feel like it's more we need to kind of put what we did against Harrisburg on the field for every single game and kind of just focus on what we can do?
Yeah, I think the biggest. So I'll start with this. I think the biggest factor that was in the Harrisburg game was that we were believing in ourselves. I think that we trusted our coaches that game. We trusted their schemes. We trusted their plays. We didn't second guess it or think that we were better or above it. And I think that's what brought us together and helped us win. And so I think it's less of worrying about, okay, well, what type of talent we have and they got this and we only have this, or they be who, what, and where. Like it doesn't really matter when it comes to that. I feel like it matters more of how unified you are when you're going into a game. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, win or lose, you're with your brothers. But if you want to win a lot of games, you got to be close with those guys. And that's something I learned at Pine Richland too. Obviously a multiple district win, state title appearance, state title winner team. The thing that I noticed there too was how close those guys are on and off the field. And so I think the biggest factor going into this year is not talent. It's not rankings or offers or commits. I think it's really just coming down to which team is the most unified and trusts each other the most. Because like you said, we got guys like Zayden, you got guys like me, you got guys like Brody. Like that is just extra. It's bonus. We gotta focus on more of the chemistry and how are we going to come together as a team and win this? Because we've had years before where we had 1, 2, maybe 3 guys play for us and win the game for us. But we need 11, 12, 13 guys with those extra guys being reliable and backups. Like some people say all 22. Like you gotta have everyone's head in the game, including the people that are sitting on the bench. So I think that's the most important thing for this year is just having the right mindset, making sure that you're taking care of your brother. And I think we'll be as successful as we want to be based off of that.
Yeah. And then last question before we let you go, I always like asking kind of the big guys like you. Who are some of the offensive linemen that you kind of watch to kind of study techniques, study kind of moves, to just little things. Obviously, there are different types of offensive linemen, right? Like we were talking today about how it's kind of funny. The Mid-Penn's 2 blue chip tackles are kind of like the 2 different archetypes, right? The kind of big one versus the Kevin, who's a little more kind of the super mobile kind of kick out type guy. Who are the type of offensive linemen you're watching to kind of study and kind of take notes from?
Yeah, recently, just I like watching Kevin at the camp. I could say he's very similar to Lane Johnson. You know what I mean? I think he's very similar in that aspect. And I like to compare myself a little bit to Quinn Nelson. Just as far as body, but also the way I play. But yeah, I think it's cool to watch honestly anyone at any position. Because I think there's a lot of things that you can correlate with different players at different positions, because I might play tackle again this year. I'm playing guard right now, but I might play tackle again this year. So I like to watch a little bit of mix of both. But watching guys like I used to watch Jason Kelsey a lot, and not really for the fact that he was a center, but more of the way that he played and how he's able to get himself into a play, even though he was only 6'2", 290, 300. You know what I mean? Like guys like that, I kind of look at more. Obviously, like I said, Quentin, Joe Thomas a little bit too. Just and watching, I watched a thing yesterday. It was, Joe Thomas was explaining what you should do when a guy's in a wide 9. Are you gonna vertical set? Are you gonna are you gonna 45 set and like be patient? Like all that stuff. Like and like things like that, I feel like are more part of the higher level of the game. Like it's not just about okay, who's quicker, who's more athletic, who's more mobile, who has the higher stars. Like at that level, it doesn't matter. It's all on okay, I'm gonna set, I'm gonna be patient, he's quick off the ball, I'm gonna set wide. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. I feel like that's something more I focus on. And just learning how to learn, if that makes sense. But yeah, like I said, Quentin Nelson, Jason Kelsey, those are some guys I look up to. But even watching some of the Notre Dame film from last year, looking at guys like Rocco Spindler and yeah, like guys like that, like guys that played in the national championship game and stuff like that. Like I think that's important.
Yeah, I always love asking offensive linemen about it because when you ask the quarterbacks, it's kind of everyone just says the same couple guys, right? But I feel like offensive linemen all kind of find different guys to kind of pick a little bit from because there's so many different good ones who do different things well. So,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, Tyler. Well, we know you're a busy Notre Dame. Anytime we have a Notre Dame coming on, we know we appreciate their time, so we'll let you out here. But before we do, just Epsil has one more thing.
Tyler, before you go, I could ask you this in 2 weeks when I see you in camp or media day, but did you catch any fish in the Outer Banks?
I did, yeah.
What'd you get?
Pretty decent amount of flounder and some drum. So yeah.
Nice.
Oh, flounder's the best one. That's my favorite fresh catch.
Every flounder I catch is a half inch too short of legal, and I catch either those or 7-foot sharks. That's
Yeah.
it. I don't catch anything else.
None of them were keepers, but it was cool to just pull them up from the pier. I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah, they're
still
fun.
feels good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, I'm good.
All right, yeah. Well, we still want to get that one video. Maybe we'll get it one day where Ep and Tyler go fishing. But until then,
I'm down.
Yeah, Tyler, tell them how to follow. Tell our listeners how to follow you on Twitter and social media.
Yeah, Twitter is Big Oak 2026, capital B, capital O, and Instagram is just TylerMerrill.71. Yeah, I mean, if you want to follow, you can follow. It's no big deal. But yeah,
awesome. Well, Tyler,
we're gonna call Coach O too right after this and tell him to give you the damn ball.
Awesome.
Yeah,
appreciate Need that.
All righty, Tyler. Thanks a lot. And yeah, it was Tyler Merrill.
All right, guys, that was the Big Oak, Tyler Merrill, Notre Dame commit from Cumberland Valley. What did we learn? What did we take from that interview with Tyler, guys?
Yeah, well, Tyler's been, he's always been a fun guy to talk to since that very, first time I spoke with him for that story his freshman year. But it kind of feels like, he's really kind of matured he's kind of went through all the steps to become that sort of senior, that Notre Dame kid. Talking a lot about when you talk about Cumberland Valley, talking about the leadership. I thought the stuff about going to Pine Richland and, learning what makes that program tick. Because, from afar, I think all three of us have always admired that Pine Richland program. I remember when they beat Emotep, right, in the state title game when, frankly, I don't think any of us thought they had any business beating a team of that caliber. And sounds like Tyler kind of saw how they do it. And he said, their culture is just what sets them apart. And it sounds like he's trying to be that, kind of help Josh Oswald kind of form that sort of culture at Cumberland Valley. And obviously he's got all the talent in the world to be an offensive lineman at Notre Dame, but I think it's pretty special to kind of hear that he's also got a pretty darn good head on his shoulders. I think he knows everything he needs to do to kind of get better and keep getting better. And looking forward to his senior year because I think, like I said in that interview, I've kind of pegged Cumberland Valley as a team that I think some people are overlooking as, just some not fodder, but just an also ran in the Commonwealth. And I think they can. I think they can make some major noise this year. So looking forward to seeing Tyler at media day and when we get going.
Yeah, none of us on this panel here has experienced the big recruiting process and what it takes. And I think what stands out to me about Tyler is obviously tremendous football player, tremendous potential at the next level. But I think he really appreciates. I think he really has a sense of appreciation for all the interest in him, you know? And yes, he's 6'6", 300 some pounds. And you're like, man, this guy, if he puts in a little bit of work, he didn't sort of just rest on his size. Like, I think he's a kid who constantly wants to improve himself and get better. He knows that the next level is going to be completely different than what he's facing right now. So he's working towards that. And I just think I like that appreciation. I like when people, when the student athletes sort of realize, hey, this is really a privilege, what I'm going through. And it can be maddening at times. We've all covered athletes where it's just a fever pitch from the time they wake up to the time they go to bed. And it's nonstop now with social media and all these recruiting warehouses. And this is a 3-star, this is a 4-star. And I just think when I was 17, like, could I have made it through something like that and still be sane? And I'm like, no, I wouldn't have been. I wouldn't have known what to do. I wouldn't have known what visit to take. I just, but he's got tremendous help. He's got a good system around him, good guys around him from what he's saying, and that camaraderie that he's built there over 4 years. And so I like that about him. I think he's always been a step ahead with the media. He's always been a step ahead in his recruiting and everything that he does. And that's what I really like about him.
I can tell he's a smart kid, big kid. I find it interesting. He compared himself to Quentin Nelson a little bit. So got to probably got to get a little bit meaner to be like Big Q, Big Oak. But man, if you can follow in those footsteps, he's pretty special as a guy who happens to watch the Colts play bad football on Sundays. So
I imagine it's no coincidence, right? They probably Notre Dame people are telling them,
yeah,
Quentin Nelson is who they want him to be.
Yeah, and if they're telling them that, hey, who knows? This could be a guy who could hear his name, called in the draft one day. He certainly has the size, and I watched his film. He's actually moves really well for such a big guy. So be interesting to see too what Oswald, if they can get a package in there, maybe throw him to football or something. You can imagine he could probably box out some guys. So I got a little bit of the recruiting process, man. PennLive flew me in here. Burke flew me in here. Put me up at the Holiday Inn Express for a night. I got to eat at the Center Street Grill. I mean, that's probably about the same as going to Notre Dame for a weekend.
Yeah, it sounds well. I will say you probably got better wings there than anywhere in Indianapolis.
It's a little different, I would think, Brian. Just maybe, but I don't know.
Center Street wings, though, are probably better than anything in Indianapolis, wings-wise.
Center Street is a hidden gem.
It's terrific.
It is. And their weekend specials are always pretty interesting as well, Dan. I don't know how often you go there, but
I'm like 5 minutes away. That's where my gym is.
I had a good recruiting trip to the Cleveland Plain Dealer, too, in 4 days, and I didn't get the job. So
you didn't commit, or you shouldn't commit. That's all you got to say, Up.
Yeah.
They didn't seal the deal.
Didn't get the offer. I couldn't commit.
You gotta blame them for it, Epler. Again,
that was good. I was only
slight hyperbole.
I was only 22 at the time, so can't complain.
Worked out. Look, now we're all big timers.
I'm ham and egging it with you guys. Absolutely, it all worked out beautifully.
At the somewhere between 6th and 30th best high school football podcast in the country.
Second. Well, we're second. I don't know the organization.
The National Headliner Awards.
It's right. What is it?
Some AI-driven site. So.
No, the National Headliner Awards.
Exactly.
The Headliner Awards aren't an AI-driven site.
Exactly. They're legit.
Whatever it is. One of those things.
Listen, I want my certificate. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
I'll put it up here with Kirby.
Well, hey, look, you guys have got, real quick before we go, we've been teasing it for a while. We're now, I think, officially like a week out or so from Penn Media Day, right? And so next week, you guys will be recording, I think, at Media Day, right?
Yep.
So I won't be on next week. I'm still not 100% ready to get out there, guys, but these guys will be at Media Day, so they should have some neat stuff coming out of Media Day. Also, Media Day means that we're going to be having a lot of content. We already got a bunch of stuff that's been going up on the site around football. It is that time of the year. I mean, it's July, but it's nothing. It's going to be football probably from here
Football season already. It's already here.
Oh yeah.
from here to December. We always like to say it's always football season. It's football season year round at PennLive, but we cover a lot of other great sports too. But anyway, make sure you're checking us out there at PennLive.com. Eric is on Twitter too. Eric, tell them how to find you.
I'm at 3Jacker.
Dan
Dan_Sostek.
and Megan.
At Savvy Literate.
And Megan's also all over our other Penn Live channels a lot with different events. I'm sure she'll have some stuff coming probably live on our social media accounts from Media Day, right, Megan?
Yes, we will. And
Yeah.
I'm also going to be plugging our colleagues, Nick Farabaugh out in Pittsburgh, and we now have Penn State reporter Johnny McGonigal in Philadelphia. In addition to Penn State, he'll be covering the Eagles for us.
Ramping back up the Eagles coverage. So we're rolling. We got football thick on PennLive.com. Make sure to check us out there. And I'm at Sports Bobby Linder on X as well. Until next week, guys, we'll see you then.